Good evening, everybody. It's Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com.
And Victoria Tedesco.
Oh, yes. This is the post-Raw, their 25th show. Wow. Can you believe
25?
This is 25. I didn't tell Victoria. I literally didn't tell Victoria that until right now. So that's a genuine reaction.
25.
Yeah, this is our 25th show. We've been doing this since August. We took 2 weeks off for
illnesses.
Oh no, for Christmas and New Year's, because there's no way I'm watching wrestling on Christmas and New Year's. I'll tell you that. And we had to take off last week, unfortunately, because of we just ran into some troubles. We couldn't watch Raw, and we were busy and stuff like that. You know, life gets in the way. But it's good to be here with everybody. Hello, Andrew. Hello, Kit. Hello, Mike. Hello, Doug, Torqueman, Nick Carter, Lewis, Nafis, Quentin. Of course, it's the Queen. Everybody's joining us tonight.
I love how busy the chat is.
Yeah, we got a busy chat room tonight. Speaking of Doug Lackey, we have a major, important announcement for this Wednesday. Victoria, do you want to make the announcement?
I'm going to be on Wrestleview Weekly.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Victoria is joining Doug Lackey this Wednesday. I hope I didn't take the wind out of Doug's sails here by announcing something I shouldn't.
Oh, oops.
I don't know if this is supposed to be a surprise.
Sorry, Doug.
We're excited. We've been wanting this to happen for a long time, and it's finally happening. One of us is going to be on Doug's show. And it's going to be Victoria, not me.
Luckily, I'm the first one.
Yes. I think everybody,
But to be fair, you guys have done a show together before.
We've done a couple shows together. I think me and Doug have done shows before.
And I had I was on a little snippet after the Evolution pay-per-view. So
Yes.
But now it's just official.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is. It is official, and a long time coming. So this is a good one.
I'm excited.
Quentin goes, Doug has real competition. Oh my goodness. So this is good. I'm really excited. I'm excited, and yes, I think it's nice to get a female perspective every now and then. Wrestling.
I am
and stuff
a female,
like that. So I got to spread the wealth here a little bit. I got to spread the wealth. I can't just keep Victoria all to myself.
Sorry, you're a hog.
I am. But like John the Baptist said about Jesus, he must increase, I must decrease. I am decreasing now.
There's no need for religion.
You must increase.
At all.
I'm giving you a compliment.
I understand that, but you could have said it without the religious component, but whatever.
This is from Doug Lackey, straight from the horse's mouth here. No, it's time for the Queen to swim in the deep end.
Oh, thank you.
It's time.
See, that's a nice compliment. Not your religious,
Well, hey, it's all good, but... So that's some good news coming up. Make sure you tune in on Wednesday for that show. And if you don't get a chance to watch it live, download the podcast on Spotify, just like you should download this podcast on Spotify.
Absolutely.
If you don't get to watch us live, we appreciate everybody who gets to listen to us. And we appreciate everybody who's joining us right now and joining Doug on Wednesday. It's a lot of fun. There's some good things going on the Wrestleview network here. And we have Elimination Chamber on Sunday as well, so you can expect a Wrestleview radio then. So
who's recapping?
I don't know. know.
Okay.
Doesn't matter. Whoever recaps is going to be a phenomenal recap.
I was just wondering.
Yes.
That's all.
But we do know that the greatest Raw recap of all time is hosting the 25th post Raw right now. That would be me.
Where does my hand go?
I don't. You're lift up a little more.
Like that?
Yeah, there you go.
Am I pointing the right direction though?
No, it's the other way.
Was I pointing to myself?
Yes. No, you're pointing at the TV.
No, TV's the best Raw recapper.
Well, it is. The TV's the only one that doesn't, blow up after watching it all. So
hey, never say never. So.
Hey, Billy Hafner, my dear friend Billy. We also have Daniel. God damn it, Daniel. He's in the chat room too. Randy's here. It's good news. We got a lot of people.
It's popping right now.
Yeah, it's popping right now. So let's talk about something that maybe wasn't popping so much. And that even though it's the 25th post Raw, we don't really have the greatest show to talk about.
No.
But actually, that's a total lie.
No.
There's a lot of news to talk about from this show. A lot of news.
Yeah.
And we're just going to jump right to the main event segment. But first, let's just see how everybody feels about this Raw. What is the internet's feeling?
Oh, the Twitters.
They're giving it 69% thumbs down.
Why is that so funny?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Why is that funny?
I don't know. Everybody laughs whenever 69 is said. My students do. Everybody does. I don't know why, but that's just what you do. So it's a 69% thumbs down right now for Monday Night Raw. A lot of people, if I had to guess, aren't fans of the ending. And the ending of the show saw... good evening, Jamel, by the way. The ending of the show saw Becky Lynch apologize to Stephanie McMahon and Triple H in order to keep her WrestleMania match, only for Vince McMahon to come out and say, I'm not accepting your apology. You're not the man. I'm the man. And you're suspended for 60 days, which means your suspension ends 5 days after WrestleMania.
Oh, so we went just right to the main event.
We just got to talk about the big
Gotcha.
news right away.
Okay.
Right away. And get some opinions here. And what Vince McMahon did was suspend Becky Lynch for 60 days, which ends 5 days after WrestleMania. So there has to be an opponent for Ronda Rousey, and that is Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair came out to Raw, and Vince put himself firmly behind Charlotte Flair and said that she will be the new Raw Women's Champion. So what everybody feared has come to fruition. There's no chance. Obviously, there's 55 days left to build to WrestleMania. 55 days. So we have to do something.
That's actually not that far. And if you really look at it,
think about
it's going to go by quickly.
Well, not if you watch Raw.
Well, no, not if you're on tonight. But
not if you're watching Raw. It's not going to go by quickly. But
in the scheme of things, it will go by quickly.
In the grand scheme, it supposedly will go by quickly. But yes, the dreaded. Everybody was dreading the triple threat match with Charlotte Flair and Becky Lynch taking on Ronda Rousey is happening. I don't think me personally, and I want to know what the chat room thinks, and we're gonna just spew our opinions about it right now. You want to go first?
Yeah. I initially thought this was going to happen anyway.
Well, I think everybody did.
Yeah, but then there was that talk about maybe Charlotte Flair and Asuka, and then we spoke about on the podcast not too long ago at the possibility of that maybe Charlotte was mad because she wasn't involved. And then all of a sudden we're here with, you know what I mean? And then Asuka was going to be there, and then they were going to have their matchup, and then Charlotte was mad because she was the initial one that was only supposed to be with Ronda Rousey. So now, personally, for me, I was expecting it, and I'm one of the minority here. I'm not mad about it. I know it's not necessary, but I think the three of them put on really good matches, and they have really good chemistry, whether it's a singles match or whether all of them are in the ring. And no matter who's paired up with who, if it's Charlotte versus Becky, Becky versus Charlotte, Becky versus Ronda, Ronda versus Charlotte, I'm more than okay with it. So I think I was kind of the only one that was like, I'm fine with it. Okay. And I'm actually excited about it.
Yeah, okay. I'm just calling it right now. No triple threat at WrestleMania. I mean, I'm probably wrong there. Obviously, Becky Lynch is going to be in this thing, but obviously, Fastlane is the last pay-per-view before WrestleMania. So, however Becky Lynch gets in there, if it's by a match, it's going to have to be at Fastlane. So, Fastlane is what, March 11th or something like that. If my records are, I ought to just go to my to our website, Wrestleview.com, because they'll have the thing on the front page. And we'll find out right now. Let's see. It is March 11th. March 10th.
What?
It's March 10th.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at the 2018.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you typed it in. I went to Wrestleview. Wrestleview, the most reliable website for wrestling news on the internet, by the way, just so everybody knows. Yes, March 10th. So within the next 29 days, or actually less because February's short, Becky Lynch has got to do something crazy, something to get her heat back, because I got to say, I don't think that she looked good tonight. I don't like her apologizing and then, thinking that she gets her match, and then, typical WWE where they book people like they're, all the faces get booked like idiots. And that was kind of a theme tonight. That was definitely a theme tonight, especially when it comes to
the central theme.
Sasha Banks and Bayley, too. They were booked like morons tonight.
Oh, well.
Oh, I know.
Too bad, so sad.
Yes, exactly. Andrew actually, this is a great point. Andrew said this on Twitter, and I was going to steal it, but he said in the chat room, and he's here, so I guess I can't steal it.
How dare you?
I'm only kidding. But Andrew said that in 2 weeks they're celebrating Ric Flair's 70th birthday on Raw in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a great time for Becky Lynch to come out and hold the 70-year-old Ric Flair hostage until she gets her match or something like that against Charlotte. At
I like that.
Now that would be really good.
That would be.
That would be really good. Now I think that it's going to be. Becky says, if I beat you, I get my match back and you're out. And if I don't win, then I'm done for WrestleMania. I get nothing. So that will free up. I believe, and believe me, I believe that they'll have a phenomenal match at Fastlane. I really do. If their match at Fastlane is going to be anything like what they had at Evolution, it's going to be a freaking awesome blowout match, man. It's going to be a blowout. And that's an inside joke, me and Victoria. But and then that frees up Charlotte Flair to go against Asuka, to get a rematch against Asuka, because that was kind of being built up. That would be freaking awesome.
So you don't foresee a triple threat?
I don't foresee a triple threat, not right now.
What does the rest of the chat think?
Well, I don't know what everybody thinks about my triple threat thing. But,
no, not about your triple threat. They have their own opinions.
Well, Doug makes a good point. FYI, SmackDown following Flair's 70th on Raw is in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's kind of interesting.
That is interesting.
See what they do there. But especially if Ric Flair comes out and plays heel, especially because Charlotte is getting so much heat right now. If he comes out and just like, oh, my daughter, she's the best, and you fans don't know jack diddly about anything, and then Becky Lynch comes out, it'll be okay. If Ric Flair can just be 80s Ric Flair heel, that would be something.
Ideal.
Well, yeah, and Frank said either way Becky gets screwed, apology or not. I'd rather her get screwed once than twice. It's like if we're really building somebody up and we want to run with her and put a rocket on her, I want her to, not have to look like a fool twice, throughout the night. And having to have a backstage segment with the loser Finn Balor is bad enough for her anyway.
Oh boy, that was awful.
God. Oh God, those backstage segments with Becky Lynch tonight were brutal. All night. So the opening segment basically saw Triple H and Stephanie say that Becky Lynch was medically cleared, but in order to get her match at WrestleMania, she has to apologize. So all night they were doing this thing where Becky is wrestling with her soul. Right. Am I going to apologize or what? You had the loser, that dweeb Finn Balor, come up. And this is a big departure.
So I was to say, we're back to him just being...
Oh, yeah. This is a big departure from how I felt about him 2 weeks ago last time we were on the air.
You were like gung-ho about him.
I thought they turned the corner and actually made Finn Balor something, but...
somebody has to remind me, I think we did say, if they kept doing what they were doing with him, that'd be great. But there's always that, you always run into that problem with WWE. Are they going to be behind you? And can you say consistently?
Yeah. Yeah.
Clearly they were like, we're over it.
It was a 1 month build, and it seemed like, oh God, they turned the corner with Finn Balor, and they didn't, unfortunately. Because the next night on Raw after Royal Rumble, he basically came out and said, yeah, well, I was overmatched, and, Brock Lesnar beat me because I'm just not good enough to be in the ring with him. But I made him believe. Yeah, okay. And now this week he's saying, oh, just apologize. Like, the attraction of Becky Lynch is that she's a badass that doesn't apologize. So to have Finn Balor say, oh, why don't you go apologize, makes him look like a freaking loser. But then the fact that Becky Lynch did apologize later in the night made her dweeb too.
See, like I said, am I the only one who didn't care that she apologized? I guess so. I don't know. I felt like overall her segments backstage weren't as bad as maybe everybody else thought.
Yeah.
I think the people that she was involved with were like Finn Balor. Oh my gosh, that was just an abomination. I don't even know what. But I don't think she had that bad of a showing. Not her best showing, but I don't think she had that bad though.
I know. Yeah, it was something. But anyway, let's see what the chat thinks about this. So Doug thinks that no way Jose should have just conquered in for no reason.
Yeah, why not?
I agree.
Yeah, and then he should just put his 2 cents in.
Daniel says that Becky needs to win the belt at Extreme Rules. We'll see about that. That would be something. Let's see. Oh, Frank. Yes, I can. Frank says that I thinks Triple Threat adds major heat with Charlotte. However, a Lynch versus Rousey where 75% of the crowd booing Rousey can be rough, but that singles match has monster heat as well. Win-win. Yeah, I still think they got to go with the singles match, though. It really, that's the one that everybody really wants to see. That was the big attraction for Survivor Series. That's what made me want to see Survivor Series when they initially announced that they were going to do it. And when she got injured, it was like, oh my God, it's got to be WrestleMania now. Wow. It doesn't need the extra with Charlotte Flair. I mean, I love Charlotte Flair. I'm a big fan of hers, big fan. But she just doesn't need to be there. And that's just simple facts. It doesn't hurt her by not being there.
I don't know if I'm on the female empowerment train, but I'm like, yeah, all for it. As many women as you can in the main event.
Okay, well, yeah, and that too.
And I think she is deserving of it. I really do.
Yeah.
I think she is deserving of it.
I know.
To be honest with you, I don't. If it were somebody like Sasha Banks, yeah, I would be in an uproar right now.
Oh God. Oh my God. Could you imagine if they put Sasha Banks
But
there?
could you imagine though?
She would literally dive off the top of like whatever scaffolding they build in MetLife and kill herself.
But can you see that happening though? Like them trying to like build up somebody that. To me, that would... The only other person that I could possibly see in that type of setting would maybe be Asuka.
Yeah.
Somebody of that caliber. You know what I mean? Who can be in that type... Who can put on that type of match.
Asuka has nothing going on now for WrestleMania. If Charlotte Flair stays in the triple threat, what are Asuka's choices at WrestleMania?
Fatal 4-way. It just turns into like a free-for-all.
Yeah, I guess so. You're right.
It just turns into a free-for-all.
You're right. It's going to be like the multi-lady, just get everybody on the card match at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. That's what it's probably going to be.
Yeah.
Either that or what's her face? Alexa Bliss maybe moves over into SmackDown and tries to go for the title there.
Who knows?
Something. I don't know. But, it's a bizarre thing. Now, I posited a question on Twitter earlier tonight.
Okay.
When the opening segment initially happened, I said, that really had strong feelings of Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon, updated 2019 version with Ronda playing the Stone Cold part and Stephanie obviously playing the part of her father. Now, last year, if you would have asked me in 2018. I would have said 100% they're setting Ronda Rousey up for that position. Ronda doesn't seem to be the new Stone Cold anymore. Does that mean that Ronda's leaving? That was the question that I posited on Twitter. I don't know one way or the other. I don't think Ronda's leaving, but you never know.
I think she's leaving. I think she's taking time off. I think she really does want to have I think she got that taste that she wanted. She really enjoys what she's doing, but I think she really does want to have kids. I don't think it's anything malicious behind it other than...
No, of course not.
I think she just wants to start a family with her husband.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that, I gotta say. It's...
Because didn't she say she only wanted to be on for a year anyway, and then...
Well, no, that's the big rumor. WWE said that she signed until 2021, but hey, that doesn't mean she couldn't pull a Brie Bella and go have a kid and then come back. I could totally see her doing that, though. Oh, that's a good one. People in the chat room, Mandy Rose versus Asuka. I wouldn't hate that. Alexa Bliss, I think, would probably carry it a little better though. But Asuka can work with a broomstick. Really, she's a phenomenal talent. So that's that. Well, I want to see what everybody else thinks. Do you think Ronda Rousey's leaving? Do you think she's staying? Drop some thoughts in the chat room. But we're gonna truck on with Raw. What do you think? Unless you have anything else to say about this?
No, I do not.
Okay. All right. So we kind of talked about the first segment, and those feelings of Stone Cold and stuff like that. Our first match is a triple threat tag team match, and you know how much I love those.
You were just ecstatic tonight.
I love triple threat tags because I love that only two people could be in the ring, and why would you tag in the other team? But it made sense tonight. It actually made a ton of sense tonight. It really did, because the team that loses gets to go first in the Elimination Chamber. So I guess by the team that loses, because two teams have to lose, but the team that loses, I guess they mean to be the one that gets pinned. Mm-hmm. So there is a reason to tag somebody in, because you can just sit on the sidelines while Nia Jax and Tamina beat up, whatever team, and just watch it, and they lose the match and you don't have to go in first.
Right.
It made sense.
Yes.
And so they did this thing where they bring out Sasha Banks and Bayley, and they had a terrible little promo about wanting to be women's tag team champions. Then they had a terrible one with Nia Jax and Tamina, and I think they did one with Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, but by that point I stopped paying attention. Anyway, right away, Sasha Banks got in the match, and I guess that she's on very, very light work detail because she didn't do anything on Raw last week because she actually wasn't cleared, and they had her do very little, no physical interaction. This week they let her get a tiny bit physical, but nothing. She was still taken out of this match. But what she did was she started off against Nia Jax. She slapped her in the face and then tagged in Liv Morgan. Morgan got woman handled by Jax. And Morgan goes to make a tag to Banks and Bayley, and they jump off the apron because they don't want to win this match. They don't care about losing. They don't care about losing as long as they don't get pinned.
Yep.
And I was like, God, that's
smart.
This is great. This makes a ton of sense.
That was smart.
And then they threw it all out the window when Bayley, inexplicably, for no friggin' reason whatsoever, tags herself into the match and then winds up losing like a total friggin' idiot loser babyface. No logic whatsoever. Logic gone
I
out
found
the window.
all entertainment in that.
Stupid. Oh my God.
I was thoroughly entertained.
That was just
because it was them.
Shits.
I was thoroughly entertained.
God.
If we have to go along
Makes
with
no
that,
sense.
I know. If we have to go along with the central theme though of this
sense.
entire night, everything was just long.
Oh,
Everything just. I know you said you didn't like because of the logistics of it. You were feeling the match up until that point, but I don't know if I feel the same way. Like, yes, it was nice to see something different, the different standards of it.
Well, that's the only way the tag a triple
that it
threat
should,
tag could work.
yeah,
in
that
WWE.
could work. But it was everything is just it was just so long.
Yeah.
But I got so much entertainment from happening with Bayley. I did.
Yeah.
It just
It's
because
just like because I don't I could
just
I
because
am
I
so,
don't care.
I am so checked out on and you'll never see it in my recap. You will never see me write the Boston Hug Connection. I refuse because it's the stupidest.
So what are you
shit
gonna do?
Name on earth. I just call them Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Okay.
Because it's the shittiest name on the face of the planet. It doesn't even deserve recognition. It's just crap.
I'm not even like I said.
I just don't.
I'm not feeling the women's tag
dead.
anyway.
They're so dead as a team before they even win these goddamn titles that nobody cares about.
Because it was too much of the back and forth between them.
No, they have too many titles. It's getting to the point now where every pay-per-view there are no singles matches. And if there ever happens to be just like one random singles match, it dies because there's no title attached to it.
But who cares if there's a title? Really? What does
but
it?
That's the thing.
No, but what does it mean?
They've been watered down so much.
What does it mean to have a title now?
Nothing.
Nothing. It does not mean anything.
It means nothing. Nothing. Titles are just
They're just
they
there.
literally are props.
They became a
and
prop.
it's like seriously, when you if you ever catch Wrestling with Shadows, the story of Bret Hart and the Montreal Screwjob, and you saw how troubled Bret Hart was about dropping the WWF title in Canada and how that would ruin his career and all this stuff, and how much. And how they actually went out of their way to take that title off because losing the title, and God forbid it goes to WCW and dropped in a garbage can, even though there was zero chance of that happening because Bret still was under contract until December. Zero chance of that happening, but the fear of that happening caused them to pull it off because if that happened, WWF would be dead in the water. Fast forward 22 years later, no one gives a shit about titles anymore.
Now,
the title hasn't been on Raw in months.
The Miz said in a long time ago in an interview around 2011.
It's amazing though when you look back at that 20-year difference, how little the title means now, how absolutely diluted it is for all of them.
The Miz said in an interview about around 2011, just like a random like TMZ thing or whatever it was at the time. He was saying how somebody calls, oh, you're going to win the belt this weekend? And he was like, it's not a belt, it's a championship, it's a title, and blah, 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 blah. No, now really is just an accessory that you walk out with. And adding on this women's tag team, it's not doing anything. You don't, like we were talking about before with Becky Lynch and Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. Those are your like top 3 females, and Asuka included in there, top 4. You don't really have anybody else who can hold to that standard. So if Ronda Rousey does wind up actually leaving, what does that mean for the division? So I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what does that mean?
Nothing. I don't know.
But
asking me, I don't know.
But
it means nothing.
It means nothing at this point. So the fact that they're putting so much like emphasis on the the first and blah 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 and like it's just dumb.
Yeah. I guess Andrew's right. The only thing we have now are wooden hemp belt. That's the only thing that really matters now. So that's good. But and Doug says, but now women's tag matches have meaning after 20 years of meaningless women's tag matches. Yes, I never understood why women had tag matches ever, or why there were ever women tag teams. Like I never understood the point of like Beth Phoenix and Natalya, since there was no like women's tag team championships at the time. But they have enough trouble trying to build up a regular men's tag team division. Now we have to have, yes, and like Andrew says, they haven't had since the 80s, the Jumping Bomb Angels, when they had women's tag team champions. It's not the first time they've ever done it, that's for sure. But they have enough trouble building up the men's tag team divisions, and those are usually just filler matches, and no one really cares about them. Now they're going to work with a limited roster, of just like haphazardly thrown together tag teams.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think if there were solid tag teams, I can get behind it.
Yeah, I mean, like they had to scrounge the bottom of the barrel. They had to scrape the bottom of the barrel just to find, tag teams to face the people in qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber.
Right.
So,
random people coming together just for this opportunity. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not feeling it.
Don't care.
But Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yeah, Bayley just looked like an idiot.
I love it.
Oh god,
I love it.
And like Frank McMahon says in the chat, stupid baby faces are a WWE staple. Couldn't agree more.
Yes, absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. Skipping ahead a little bit, we're gonna come back to the small stuff in a few. We had a super long segment in the show.
Oh my gosh,
like unbelievably long. It started off as Finn Balor and Drew McIntyre, which ended in a disqualification with Finn Balor winning after Lashley interfered. And then that turned into, then Kurt Angle runs down and gets involved, hits German suplexes on everybody, and then Baron Corbin attacks him from behind. It winds up being, and then Braun Strowman makes a save. Winds up being a 6-man tag now. Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, and Braun Strowman taking on Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, and Baron Corbin. This was super duper long. Super duper long. It dragged something fierce at times. And don't get me wrong, the ending was really hot with Braun Strowman running wild, and he finally got a great reaction tonight. Really, really good, because it's like, it's not a lot of Strowman. It's just a little Strowman. That's all you need, is this little Strowman. When you put him out there for big match, for long matches, he gets exposed. But in small doses, he's fine.
Right.
And you can get behind him. The ending was hot. The rest of like what felt like seemingly 45 minutes was just it
was way too long.
Yeah,
way too long. At one point at the end, yeah, I know it got hot, but at one point I was just waiting for it to be over. I just wanted it to be over, and I think that's why the crowd was cheering. They're finally like, oh, okay,
I know.
After 40 minutes of this craziness, all of a sudden it's finally getting good. You could have shortened that amount of time. They could have had the same angle, the same type of matchup, but just take out any other stuff that just made it but this just proves it cannot be a 3-hour show.
Well,
they could have done everything that they wanted to do within that matchup, but less than the amount of time that they gave it to it, but it's still just been just as effective. But I can't.
That will literally never change.
No, but
3 hours is here for.
But you know what though? That for that whole thing being that long was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, no doubt.
I really felt like wow, this is just gonna be. I truly felt like this is just gonna be the rest of our night. What else is going to be?
It was basically the rest of our night. Everything was stretched out to the max tonight. Honestly, I have to say, this really didn't feel like a go-home show whatsoever. It didn't feel like there's a pay-per-view on Sunday.
No.
In fact, other than that opening match, and they did stuff with the six-man tag, but nothing really got you excited. And by the end of the night, I completely forgot.
This wasn't exciting for me.
By the end of the night, I forgot almost all of what happened on Raw tonight. For build for Elimination Chamber. This really wasn't that phenomenal for Elimination Chamber.
And poor Kurt Angle in that, just.
He looks really sad.
I really felt bad for him when he was running out in the ring and when he was doing certain moves. I was like, oh,
I know,
poor Kurt, my friend.
It's tough. It's tough.
He is my friend. He really is my friend.
Yes, Kurt Angle did us a solid one time, so we'll always have that. We always have that, Kurt. Yeah. So, I just didn't like this. This was basically the build for Elimination Chamber with because. Actually, it's Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship. Well, it's not Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. It's Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley. It was like a turkey. I don't know what's going on right now. I'm going crazy. It's almost midnight. But we do have a snow day tomorrow. That's good.
Yeah!
It's going to be Finn Balor versus Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush for the Intercontinental Championship in a handicap match. Finn Balor beating Bobby Lashley on Raw tonight doesn't bode well if tradition serves, but Lio Rush could easily take the pin, too, and make Finn Balor a champion and try to erase some of this poor booking. And we also have Braun Strowman versus Baron Corbin. Something tells me that the crowd isn't going to be going crazy for that one.
No, come on.
And I don't know what the hell Drew McIntyre is doing on. Can somebody tell me what Drew McIntyre is doing? Because I'm too lazy to look it up right now. I don't think he's doing anything on Elimination Chamber if memory serves.
I don't know.
I'm going to look it up right now. I have to look it up.
Wasn't he angry at some point?
Who?
No, in real life with him, with the direction?
No. I speculated that he has to be pissed because it's everybody was talking about how Drew McIntyre is a serious contender to be have a featured match at WrestleMania, and he's really not doing anything right now. Yeah, he's actually he is currently, as it stands, not on the card. He's not on the card.
Which very well can.
Which is fine. Not everybody needs to be on the damn card.
Unless he just helps Baron Corbin in some way.
That's probably what's going to happen.
It's just going to do a little interference.
And obviously Kurt Angle, they're again looks very sad, looks very hunched. Everything looks crooked on his body. He's going to. I'm projecting a WrestleMania match for him with him and Baron Corbin or him and Drew McIntyre or something like that in some kind of last hurrah or something like that. Or
please don't let it be Baron Corbin. The poor guy deserves better than that.
I agree. So
Drew is a great a great opponent, but Baron Corbin, no.
Drew would be a great opponent, but. They certainly didn't book him well, that's for sure. Yes, Randy says that Kurt needs to do some DDP yoga. Yeah, I can kind of agree with that.
I love DDP yoga, by the way.
Really?
Yes.
Yes, I like the stories and all that stuff.
It's so good.
Okay, do you tell us?
No, it's really, really good. We do it in class sometimes.
Yes, DDP yoga is
I do yoga with my students.
I'm not calling you a liar.
But you were just making it so awkward. You're like, okay.
No, I didn't know where this was going. Anyway,
where did you think it was going?
I don't know. I thought you were going to explain more. I didn't know you're.
No, I'm saying it's really effective. It's really, really good.
Great. I'm glad for you.
Okay. Fantastic.
Yes,
moving on.
We've seen it work wonders. It made Mick Foley into a less limpy guy. So that's good, and made him lose a bunch of weight too. So hopefully we can keep Mick Foley around for a long time. Our next big segment on Raw was actually really good. Seth Rollins comes out to a big burn it down chant from the crowd. People are into him again, which is nice to see. And, okay, Victoria's drinking. And, sorry.
Why did you have to say that?
You're still on camera. It's just half your head was there.
Yeah, I thought you would have known that was a cue.
I'm trying to read. You have to tell me when you want to be cued off the camera.
Oh my gosh!
Now it's just my.
This is like a train wreck right now.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get through this damn Seth Rollins match. Anyway, he talked about how his year was phenomenal last year. He lasted 65 minutes in a gauntlet match that he didn't win, by the way. and defended the Intercontinental Championship on 6 continents. He finally felt like Seth Rollins and he did his childhood dream of winning the Royal Rumble until the bottom fell out in the form of Brock Lesnar and 6 F5s. The bad news is he's in a lot of pain from the 6 F5s, but the good news is he took 6 F5s and can still stand. And if he can stand, he can fight. If he can fight, he can stomp. And if he can stomp, then he can beat Brock Lesnar.
I like that.
That was good. No one takes the corny babyface promo and does something with it like Seth Rollins does. He's really, really good at getting the crowd aside. The crowd always forgives him for, and this wasn't bad by any stretch.
Because he could back it up.
These weren't bad lines by any stretch, but he can take, he can take some really crummy material and still stay over. That's
definitely.
That's his forte.
Well, I don't think he's over the top with it, which is,
Let's see. Doug says there's nothing wrong with drinking on cam.
Yeah,
he knows. Doug
Thanks,
Doug drinks on camera all the time.
I bet you on Wednesday, Doug won't be judging me if I need to take a sip of water.
Jamel says also the Tedescos are leaving Wrestleview. Reportedly, Mike is tired of the hokey shit, and he said, "quote I don't owe anyone shit." Victoria reportedly wants a lighter schedule. Yes, we are going to AEP, All Elite Podcasting. Yeah, well, so we're going to be wrapping up and joining Dave Meltzer after WrestleMania. So that'll be we're leaving with Dean Ambrose.
My other friend. No, just kidding.
Oh yeah, I met Dave Meltzer at Starrcast, and I think I've already talked about this on the show.
Yeah,
I know that, but
yeah.
he's like,
he's
got to be on the spectrum.
Yeah, okay, all right, thank you. Let's just continue back to the segment.
We have Paul Heyman coming out, and he has a WrestleMania level surprise. He introduces Brock Lesnar, and then says he's not there. Of course, there's no way Brock Lesnar showing up in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Sorry, nothing against Grand Rapids, Michigan, but you're not getting Brock Lesnar.
Sorry,
so that's that. He says that, Rollins is one of the best that he's ever seen, but does he really believe in his heart that his DNA matches Brock Lesnar's DNA? Rollins is a top-tier athlete, one of the best, but Brock is a beast. Brock's a predator. Brock is a career killer. Brock is a merciless sadist with an unrepentant soul. And if Rollins goes to WrestleMania with the mindset that he'll do anything, including making WrestleMania the last match of his career, then he's on a suicide mission. If he goes in there and tries to take the Universal title from Lesnar, which is exactly what he's doing, because that's the kind of the point of the match, he'll be the architect of his own demise, and that's not a prediction, it's a spoiler. And I was like, at first when he started, I was like, God, this act is so tired. It's like, I love Paul Heyman, I love Paul Heyman promos, but the act is getting a little stale. And of course, by the end, as happens every single time with Paul Heyman, he dragged me in.
Of course.
So
he just has that voice that you just get enticed by. But you know what I liked overall with this segment? I like how Seth Rollins had the last word.
Yes. Seth Rollins had the last word, and it was a strong last word too.
Because it kind of when Paul Heyman was a little dumbfounded at the end. I like that. Me
too.
Paul Heyman really knows how to build other people.
Yes.
Not only does he know how to get you drawn to what he's saying, but he really you also start to think more about the individual he's talking about.
I agree.
So, but I like how Seth Rollins had the last kind of a statement, and then Paul Heyman was just like, what?
Yeah. Yeah, because what Rollins said was, Brock Lesnar has held this industry that he loves more than anything hostage for too long. He's not going to stand for it anymore, and he doesn't care if WrestleMania is a suicide mission. He'll be the martyr. He'll sacrifice his body, his heart, and sell his soul to the devil. He will burn in hell to avoid having Lesnar continue on as Universal Champion. And the last time that somebody sold their soul at WrestleMania to win a title, Austin turned heel and joined Vince McMahon. So I kind of hope that Vince McMahon doesn't march down there with a steel chair again. Hit him, damn it! Ah! And then they send JR out to interview him the next night. Open him up! That would actually be really awesome if they brought blood back for one night for Seth Rollins to bust open Jim Ross for absolutely no reason. God, that would be hilarious. But God, I hope that doesn't happen.
No,
Seth Rollins got to stay face, obviously. But
now
God, that'd be awesome.
Now you have this in my mind, and now if that doesn't happen, now I'm just going to be very upset.
Damn it, Seth! Open him up! That's one of my favorite segments of all time. One of the best.
Oh,
One of the best ever.
Now you have everybody's hopes up for nothing.
I know.
Like the good old days.
Totally hypothetical. Yeah, I don't know if that's the good old days because that kind of set the downturn of the business. But damn, that was some good business right there. Here's some weird business now. So Seth Rollins, has the last word, and then Dean Ambrose comes out, makes his way to the ring.
Ambrose.
Dean Ambrose, who's leaving in April.
I still don't believe it.
I won't believe it until I see it. To me, it felt like a power play by WWE saying, like, you think you can dick us around like Brock Lesnar. You can't. It's either that, or it's like, okay, our attempt at a heel turn with Dean Ambrose fell on its face, and we booked him like crap. So let's press the reset button.
Like, my bad.
Let's let everybody think that he's leaving. We're going to book him like crap for a few weeks and let people get outraged, and then we're going to push him bigger than ever after WrestleMania. Could be. I don't know.
I think that's the case because I can't imagine. I just think of all the years of WWE. They never really announce somebody who's leaving and like, oh, their contract ends at this time and they're going to be leaving and we wish them luck and blah, 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 blah.
It's so out of the ordinary.
It's not out of the ordinary. And if you think about this, the Revival, yes, okay, there was some truth to what them wanting to leave and whatnot, and they made their deal. And then the whole, like, Dolph Ziggler thing. Dolph Ziggler always threatens to leave, but that's neither here nor there.
Yeah, and if a tree falls in the woods, one of those things.
Absolutely. But I just kind of feel like there's a bigger picture. Maybe like you said, maybe there was talks of him like, I'm really frustrated with the way that my character's going. I want to stay, but I'm having a really hard time if this is the direction that I'm going with my character. So either this happens or this happens or this, and they were kind of in negotiation. I just can't imagine that he would just up and leave like that. I don't know. And the fact that they would announce it like, oh, he's leaving us and blah, 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 blah. I don't believe it until he actually, like, if he actually leaves the company, then obviously we know that.
Right. Yeah. That's one of the things I won't believe until I see it. Jamel agrees with you. So does Nick Carter. They don't agree that he's leaving. I'm with you. It was so out of the ordinary, and I love that Wrestleview was the first one to get the scoop, but I don't think that I like everybody's saying, I think they're capitalizing on the fact that there's all these rumors out there about AEW and, rumor this person wants to leave, this person wants to leave. So let's work them a little bit, let them think, and then that'll actually help Dean Ambrose get over way more than he did with this crummy ass heel turn that he did. But anyway, he came out and turned face tonight and said basically to Seth Rollins, he just goes, slay the beast. And that was it. And Dean Ambrose would go on to have a terrible match against EC3. Let's talk about these NXT people real quick.
Let's do that.
And there's still more to come, obviously, on this show. But let's talk about it. We had Dean Ambrose beat EC3 tonight in a match that literally, if somebody, I don't know if anybody could have mustered it in them to care any less. I think we were at base zero of caring about this match.
Yeah.
You couldn't care less.
Yeah.
Could not.
Another central theme of the evening. People just could not care.
Yeah. So Dean Ambrose beats EC3, so they 50-50 that guy already, which is whatever. Fine. And it was an inside cradle, so it wasn't like Ambrose beat him with his double arm DDT. We also had Ruby Riott, who essentially they said, even though she's facing Ronda Rousey on Sunday, they basically already told you this person's not winning. They never had Ronda come face to face with Riott once, and basically just said like Ronda goes, to Becky Lynch, she's like, yeah, we're gonna go make history. And even Vince McMahon comes out and he goes, and Charlotte's gonna face Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania. It's like, well, doesn't Ronda Rousey have an opponent this Sunday? Like, who could possibly take her title
again? Who cares?
And we could have the epic main event of Charlotte Flair versus Ruby Riott at WrestleMania. Well, anyway, so
who cares?
Just to save face, they send Nikki Cross out there to take on Ruby Riott, and Ruby Riott beat her. Fine, she's the contender. Fine, but man, I couldn't give two crapolas about Nikki Cross because
she screams too much.
she's over the top. That act is going to get stale.
I mean, I'm a little dramatic, but she's like,
it's going to get old real quick. She's got a tone. I mean, I get it. She's crazy. We get it. You're crazy.
But why is she crazy? But why are you crazy?
Why?
What
is the story?
What caused the craziness?
This is the problem.
I was born crazy.
This is the story. This is the problem with these NXT people that get called up. Now we have Otis and Tucker, not Otis Dojovic and Tucker Knight anymore. It's just Otis and Tucker. They have no last names. They are like nothing. You know, all they have is the fat guy doing the worm. That's about it. EC3, actually not a bad promo. They won't even allow him to talk. He's on the roster. Lacey Evans hasn't been seen since the Royal Rumble in any credible fashion. Nikki Cross is just screaming. Lars is unfortunately suffering clinical depression and hasn't been around in a while.
So sad.
But none of these guys, with the exception of Lars Sullivan, because he was being introduced nicely beforehand, I have no reason to care about any of these people. I was watching the Nikki Cross match tonight, and I was watching the EC3 match tonight. I was like, why should I give a shit about these people?
Because
why should I care about them? There was no story to introduce them. There's no video package. I don't know why Nikki Cross is crazy. I don't know why she has gray teeth, but she does. I don't know. I don't understand why EC3 is out there with pepperoni nipples and thinking that he's something special. I don't understand.
We went there.
Make me care. But that's the problem with the entire roster, honestly. And it's not just NXT call-ups, to be honest with you.
It's not.
For the life of me, I've never understood what Dolph Ziggler is. I've never understood.
What is a Dolph Ziggler?
What does a Dolph Ziggler do? He's a guy who wears Shawn Michaels knockoff pants and says he wants to steal the show, but aren't we supposed to believe that this is competition? Yes, it's simulated competition, but what show is there to steal? You're supposed to win your matches.
Not to sidetrack, but I remember when Conan O'Brien had Amy Schumer on, because you know how they dated for a little bit? Dolph Ziggler and Amy Schumer dated for a little bit. He goes, what's a Dolph Ziggler? He actually said that on the show. He goes, what's a Dolph Ziggler? Because she goes, I dated a WWE wrestler. And she's like, Dolph Ziggler. He goes, what's a Dolph Ziggler? Just to sidetrack a little bit. But
I know.
I get it though. With Nikki Cross, EC3, it's like, as much as we like to think that people are devoted to the product as much as they say they are, like that they're watching NXT, they're watching, all these other shows affiliated with the product other than Raw or SmackDown, but it's not actually happening. If you think about what actually goes down, majority of fans really only watch Raw. Then they go in like tiers. Majority of fans watch Raw. Then you get the people who watch Raw and SmackDown religiously every week. Then you get the people who are watching everything on the product. But that's a very small percentage of what's happening. So when you get these crowds and when you get people viewing on TV, these people come up and no one's getting excited because they don't know who these people are. You really have to build up these individuals before they come. And that's why I even with other people on NXT are like, oh, I'm ready for the main roster. Like, no, savor every moment when you're in NXT. Not even just because of how phenomenal the shows are and how much people, they get to rehearse and whatnot and what have you. But it's also because people are not really going to know who you are when you come up to the main roster, unless you're built the right way, unless you have this insane build as soon as you come in and then you're pretty much thrown in everyone's faces where they have to know where you are. Then you're just having these matches where it's because like you said, EC3 has pretty good promos, but he hasn't even been able to talk.
Mm-hmm.
So where are they going with these people?
It's just they did this whole entire thing back in December when the ratings really were poor, and they wanted to just get people talking again. So they bring out the McMahon family. They do away with general managers for a little bit. And they say that, Raw is in control of the people and the people are going to dictate, what happens. And for the most part, I guess they kind of gave you that with Becky Lynch and Seth Rollins winning the Royal Rumble.
Right.
And they also said they're going to inject some new talent. But unfortunately, when you inject new talent, you have to introduce them. You have to let us know what the hell they're about. again, we know nothing about these people, and this is just a trend that's just been going on forever. And that's kind of why that they haven't really built up any real genuine stars from nothing. You know, like Seth Rollins, you know, Roman Reigns, those are like the only guys that like came up from the Dean Ambrose too, I guess, are the only guys that really came up from the developmental system that weren't already like established names that, you know,
but again,
have gotten
build
over in big ways. But yes, it was a slow build. They put them over like gangbusters in the Shield, and it was hard to mess up. It really was. But nobody else. I mean, I can't think of one single act from all the call-ups after WrestleMania that, you know, or through the years that have really been anything worthwhile. Honestly, I don't know what they're about. I don't know any. You just don't know anything about them.
And they have great characters.
And I know who they are. Obviously, I know who they are from NXT.
You know who they are, but other people don't.
But I think in terms of the casual viewer, now if I were to watch this show with a friend of mine who's named John, who is a longtime fan but doesn't watch the product as much as he used to, if he'd be like, who are these people? And I'd be hard pressed to explain to him who they are.
Yeah, because we don't know.
I really would.
We have no idea.
Anyway, that's the issues with the NXT people I've been dying to talk about. We had let's fast forward. Let's rewind a little bit. The only thing that we missed from early in the show was this unbelievably pathetic angle with Elias and the Lucha House Party.
I totally forgot about that. Oh boy. Ooh. Oh man. I really think they try to make Lucha House Party like a form of the New Day, but it's just not working. Everything about this just was terrible.
I agree. Real quick, I stand corrected. Nick Carter corrected me. Asuka.
Yeah, there you go.
That's it. But you know what? Actually, no. I'm half corrected. Not really, because I said
was she already established?
She was an established name in Japan.
Yeah.
Not as Asuka, but you know, she came to WWE and got her name changed to Asuka.
Right.
But she was a talent before. You know, she wasn't built by WWE.
But you're right. You're half corrected.
I'm half corrected for sure. Yes, a couple people are leery about Dream getting called up. He'll get lost in the shuffle.
But that's what I was talking about. He's like itching to get up to that main roster. He keeps begging. And if I were him, I would be like, you know what? Let me put the brake pedals on this one, because he's good. He's good where he is right now, and no one's going to know who he is. He thinks everybody's going to know who he is. Oh, how many people watch Tough Enough?
Right. Braun Strowman, I guess, could technically count, but he wasn't like a call-up. He kind of just appeared as the Wyatt family. That was before they started doing call-ups and stuff like that. And even though they built him up, they also drastically took him down with a really bad heel turn.
Yeah, they didn't find his niche easily.
And he's playing catch up. He still is, even though he had a good night tonight. He's still very much on the catch up.
He still has a lot of work to do.
And it just seems like they'll never really put the full machine behind him either. Anyway, so we have Elias out there again, just a guy who plays guitar. You know, don't know much about him, but he does stuff. Anyway, he tried. So it was pretty funny. They introduced him 3 times, and each time they introduced him, they went backstage to a Becky Lynch thing with Finn Balor, where Finn Balor looked like a loser, and then he tried again, and then they immediately go to a video package of Seth Rollins, and then they tried again, and he's interrupted by the Lucha House Party. He sits the whole entire commercial break, the Lucha House Party dancing around him, and when it comes back from commercial, just coincidentally, he explodes and is just like, I can't take this anymore. And it was just pathetic. The Lucha House Party tried to. Like they tried to pretend like they're the most entertaining thing on Raw, and God bless them, they're not. They really tried, and they stank.
Oh yeah.
They had Kalisto strum a chord and try to show Elias up, and the only ones cheering were Lucha House Party, and they were doing a lucha thing, and they did a wide pan of the audience, and no one's doing a lucha thing.
People. It was 2 people.
Remind everybody what happened at the 205 Live that we went to in August.
Oh my gosh.
And we didn't go to 205 Live. It was just there at SmackDown. But yeah.
At the very end, when they had the...
It was a great match, by the way.
It was. It wound up being a great match. But they had they had, multiple cameramen. Mm-hmm. The cameramen were going like this, say lucha. And they were gesturing to people to it wasn't organic. So anybody who watched it that night, just so you know, it was all fraud.
Yeah, the cameraman was...
He's like, say lucha.
Yeah, the camera guy was filming them, and he goes, make sure you do lucha. So like they would get people on camera trying to do that. That's how they get the lucha house party.
Yeah, but like that was really, really sad with the audience. Not even children were doing it. It was like one guy.
Again, they existed on 205 Live, the lucha house party. That's where they were built up. That's where they existed.
And that's where they
205
excelled.
Live is watched even less than NXT is. It's literally watched less than anything on the network.
That's another tier.
It doesn't even make the top 10 of things watched on the network. It doesn't. And it's sometimes it's a really good show. Every now and then I catch it if somebody tells me that it's like something worth watching. But so the Lucha House Party gets called up with no introduction whatsoever, no video packages. They're just here. Here's the Lucha House Party, and they're established on 205 Live, which 3.5 people watch.
They're not New Day.
Forget the New Day thing. They're just it's another team that's not established.
They're just
and it was sad. It was so cringy.
It was really sad, but Elias really, really tried. You could tell he tried so hard, but it was just so sad. Really, really sad.
I know. It's like I think NXT UK gets more views than 205 Live does, and here's Lucha House Party.
Listen, they always, every time we watch it, we're always like, oh, I want to go home, but like, we're there, and and we give it a chance, and every time I'm always pleasantly surprised. They always put on a really, really good match.
It's usually pretty darn good.
So, but
it's usually pretty darn good. Jamel says, and good catch by him. So much of the New Jersey came out of Victoria when she said fraud.
Oh, I am total New Jersey.
That's total Jersey accent.
I am a fraud.
Fraud.
Give me some coffee.
Yeah. Anyway, this segment mercifully ended when Elias cracked Kalisto on the back and ran away, and I hope that this doesn't continue on another week. It was so pathetic. All right, the last big news, and it was obviously the best match on the show, was the Revival taking on Bobby Roode and Chad Gable for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Revival won their opportunity last week on Raw, and they actually had a long match. It definitely dragged at times, but again, the ending to me was really well done. They pulled the crowd into it, a little bit of the crowd, not the whole crowd. They tried to start up a "This is awesome" chant for some of the stuff, and some of the stuff really was devastating. That gory special reverse clothesline combo move was awesome. The blockbuster into a German suplex was just straight nasty, and the Shatter Machine that they hit on Chad Gable to win the Revival and the new Raw Tag Team Champions was really, really sick. The whole thing, like the ending sequence, is really, really good. So I can't argue against that. I did think the match didn't need to go 2 segments, but it was still a pretty damn good match, I have to say. But unfortunately, nobody really clued the crowd in on that. A few people were trying to start, but "This is awesome" chant, but for the most part, they sat on their hands. But those that sat on their hands and weren't going to give this match a chance missed a really good match. I have to say it was pretty damn good. But, everybody wanted the Revival. Here they are. Where is everybody going crazy?
I didn't want them.
I don't care if they're one way or the other.
I just wanted the match to be over. I just wanted I really, honestly, I was looking. I just wanted to get to the point where they were going to have the Becky Lynch segment, but I just wanted the match to be over.
Yeah,
I didn't care who won. I really didn't. I wasn't like looking for one or the other. I just wanted it to end, and that's why I think that's why. Like you said, this is one of the better matches of the night, but at the same time, though, I couldn't get into it because I was so
you're so beat over
exhausted.
The head.
I was exhausted, and when had that long match with Finn Balor, Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, and Bobby Lashley.
See, I would have flipped them.
I would have totally flipped them.
I would have flipped it,
and it's just like. But you're right. Where are the Revival fans? Everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, they really screwed them over. How dare they?"
They don't give them a chance.
And they went backstage and they were like, "We want those tag team championships because people like us." And blah, blah,
either
blah.
do something with us, goddammit, or release us.
We're leaving,
so we can go to AEW.
I would have just let them
paid
go.
Less. I want to make less money so that I can practice my craft.
So I mean, like. But where were you? Where is this high demand for the Revival?
There isn't a high. That's the myth. There is no high demand for the Revival. There's just no high demand. It's not there. It doesn't exist.
Just yeah.
It's an urban legend.
It's an urban legend in WWE. Yeah. Now I I didn't really care. Yeah, good match, but whatever. Seriously, whatever.
Yeah, it was whatever. I mean, they're the tag team champions. It was a good match. I can't take that away from them. It was a really good match, good finishing sequence. Hey, I'm psyched for them. This is what they wanted. Hopefully they can do something with it. But if WWE's track record's any indication, they don't do well with tag teams, and this is just going to be a big nothing burger.
They'll be done in like a month.
There's really no other tag teams for them to face. AOP's out because Akim's getting knee surgery.
Maybe the B team. Are you looking at like?
No. No.
You're such a B team hater.
Not the B team. Certainly not the damn B team.
Oh, you're like,
no. Yeah, but what other Raw tag teams are there really? They have to do a Superstar Shake-Up or something like that.
the Lucha House Party.
Oh, for Christ's sake! Okay, forget it. There's no chance for the revival.
I'm trying to prove a point right now.
There's no chance for the revival. They're dead. Anyway, so that was Raw. I thought, pretty darn good.
Thumbs down for me.
Could have been, yeah. I overall, I have to say, oh, you know what? I forgot that.
What'd you forget?
Never mind. I forgot that usually, like when I do a live stream, when I start it up, it gets posted on Twitter, but I forgot that YouTube actually took away the thing that posts on Twitter, so it's never got posted on Twitter. That's okay. We'll have to post it after the fact. Oh well. They'll catch on. But we have a great chat room here tonight anyway. Yeah, I have to give it a thumbs down too. I really do, because even though I did like this match, obviously it wasn't hot enough for me to say like, oh, to save the show. I like the Rollins Heyman thing, but again, not enough to save the show. And the ending segment gets people talking, positive or negative, I don't know, but and
I had tears from like boredom.
Yeah, I know.
And just from how I got tired. I really got exhausted, and not a typical like, oh, Raw wrestling tired long show, but it just felt extra long tonight, and it really did not feel like a go home show.
No, yeah,
at all.
It was something else.
So
let's check out, see if anything's shifted on the Twitters. Oh no, it actually went up a little bit. They're at 68% thumbs down now, 32% thumbs up. So Twitter is still hating the show.
But you know what, though? Good for those who can find the positivity.
I know, right? Like, I do want...
Seriously, I want your mind.
I think if we look at it, it'll be like 32% will be all from like North Carolina or something like that, or the Flair country. The Carolinas, if you will. Oh, that's Dusty Rhodes, but whatever. But anyway... I'm just glad to be back, doing podcasting, and after a week off, it's nice to get back. And we had a great chat room tonight. It's just so damn lively. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. It's a blast, and I could go on forever, but and because we do have a snow day, but there's really nothing else to talk about. So what do you want to say? Is there anything else that you'd like to address, Victoria?
No, I feel like there was something I wanted to talk about, but I just can't remember.
I know. 3-hour show, an hour podcast.
Ms. and Mrs. is coming back in April, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Yes. Ms. and Mrs. Actually, that was probably the most entertaining part of
Yes.
Raw tonight, was the coming attraction for Ms. and Mrs. Really, really good.
I've been watching it for a week now. The preview, the trailer. Monroe Sky. She's so sweet.
They want us to do a SmackDown recap tomorrow night. I don't know about that. We'll see.
Oh, a show?
Yeah.
That would be 3 podcasts for me.
That
this
would
week.
be. Oh, yeah. 3 in a row.
Because of, yes.
No, we can't do that. We can't do that.
What? I would love to.
Oh, yeah, maybe you would. Oh, that's right. Kevin Owens, they did a little video with him.
Yeah.
Where it was a total face promo. Like Kevin Owens.
Bowling.
Kevin Owens was like, yeah, I'm spending as much time as I can with my family. I love them until I have to go back on the road. And he was in a bowling alley, and he's like, and then he threw a gutter ball, and he just seemed like a good-natured guy. So there's that as well. So Kevin Owens can't bowl, but he will come back and wrestle.
But he definitely can wrestle. So
yeah. And the thing with Kevin Owens is he doesn't know where he's going. He can go either on Raw or SmackDown. He's not sure where they're going to send him yet. So I don't know how that happened.
SmackDown.
I don't know how that happened. But anyway, this was a fun show today. I actually had a lot of fun. I have fun on these shows.
even if Raw is like super long and super annoying and super boring,
Yeah.
I have fun here.
Yes, we do. And
so
talking with everybody, and especially when the chat room's like totally lively, it's a lot of fun to talk about this show and get opinions and see what everybody else thinks. I get that gets me excited. So please, if you haven't joined us yet, live, I implore you to join us. If you're watching us on replay, or if you ever have a couple hours to kill at night, come check us out. It's awesome. That's all I got. I'm Mike Tedesco of Wrestleview.com.
I'm Victoria Tedesco. Have a good night. Have a good week. Have a good snow day if you have one.
Yeah, if you're having a snow day, yeah.
Check me out and Doug on Wednesday.
Okay, we have a spammer in the chat room.
A spammer?
I don't know. Bible prophecy. Okay, we got. There's a weirdo in the chat room. We got to remove that comment. Yes, there's a guy who says that there's RFID scanners in us and that bad things are happening in the world. Yeah, no, thank you. Anyway, so everybody have a good week, and sir, whoever posted that, please get some help, and it's okay. It's okay. Have a good one. Yeah, we're having a snow day. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.